Welcome to episode 1539 of the Multifamily Collective. This is a very important episode. It's on AI. It's just an opinion that's been swirling around in my head based on a number of conversations that I've been in as of late and a lot of things that I'm reading about artificial intelligence or generative AI and future applications as it relates to the work that we do and the industries that are at play. In other words, the work that can be disrupted by artificial intelligence. And I think there is a sort of a groundswell of activity that's been going on for the last couple of years around the idea, the philosophy, the concept of a copilot. And maybe the best real world example of this is, this existed before today. It's like imagine you're an HVAC technician and you're standing in front of an HVAC condensing unit, the outside portion of the HVAC unit. And you're standing there with the condensing unit, you're looking at a capacitor, or you're just trying to diagnose. Let's say you're troubleshooting the condenser. There's a problem with it. You pull out your phone, you do a YouTube search, and you get a tutorial from some, HVAC guru, condensing specific HVAC guru who walks you through how to diagnose an issue, whether it be related to the freon, it be related to the capacitor, the line sets, whatever it might be, the electric, running power to the unit itself, whatever it might be, the coils being dirty, all these things that you could use to diagnose the condensing unit or the problem with it. And now, advance to today where you have an AI Copilot and let's pretend for a moment we've advanced to the point where you have goggles on or glasses on and you can actually see in the glass a tutorial that's walking you through step by step how to diagnose, and you're actually just mimicking whatever is happening in the Google Glass, or that's an old thing, in the VR goggles or the VR glass, the VR glasses. And anyway, the long story short is, or the punchline that I'm getting to is this: the co-pilots that are being developed today on the back of ChatGPT, whether you have an independent database that's drawing from, or you have commingled databases. In other words, you have the GPT-3 database, but then you have, say, Racco Residential's database baked in, or you have a multifamily database that has been curated from lots of different units across the country, but it's anonymous in nature, it's anonymized, but all these data sets are going in so that the output is actually fair housing compliant, or it's more specific or germane to the things that we're trying to work on. And anyway, you've got all these data sets mixed together so that you can create a really good outcome, a really good user experience. But think about this. As you're going through the tutorial and you're asking questions, whether that be verbally or you're typing questions into the AI is using that data to advance its learning, right? It's going to get smarter based on your feedback. And over time, my speculation is that the co-pilot then becomes the pilot, and it doesn't need a co-pilot. So just think about that. We are going to be lulled into this idea that production capability is going to be advanced exponentially, which is all true, but we are going to be playing right into the hands of being worked out of a role and a responsibility, because the data you're feeding into the system by way of questions or inquiries is used to make the system even smarter. At some point, it already creates responses based on a predictable response, letter by letter, number by number. Once it has more specific data, and data that's more germane in context and highly enriched by narrative or pictures, etc., whatever you're feeding in yourself, it will get smarter and smarter and smarter, and it will not need you at some point. I believe that to be true. It will not need you at some point for whatever you are employing that AI to do. even to the extent that the product development in the future, let's think about that HVAC unit, the condensing unit. That product in the future will be enhanced by the data that's being poured into the system by humans, like mass human data going into a data set, such that the product that gets developed in the future is developed with maintenance in mind, service in mind. And we're not even talking about 3D printing or, real-time onboard repair or edge computing and things of that nature. We are feeding the machine that will ultimately take our job. So this goes back to a bigger punchline. I'm sorry I'm rambling on here, but it goes back to a punchline that we've been talking about for the last, 7 or 8 years on Multifamily Collective, whether it be in narrative or in these video vlogs on a daily basis. The idea of upskilling or reskilling, like completely reimagining the way that you do your work today, because at some point the work you do today is it's going to be digitized, and it's going to be done behind the scenes. It's going to be done by computers and algorithms, and there will be no need. There'll be little to no need for the human to be in that equation. And I just really believe that I believe this in my heart of hearts, that the work that we will do in the future will be more psychologically based, sociologically. I really butchered that word, but it will be more philosophically, theoretical. We will be exercising our creative minds to enhance experiences, and we have to figure out what those frameworks look like today and those workflows look like today, because today we're feeding the beasts that will take our job. I believe that at every level of the organization, except for maybe those physical things that still need to be happen on site, changing toilets, changing out supply lines, things of that nature. But even that's going to get more pointy and more specific in nature. And at some point that stuff becomes sort of self-serving and self-diagnosing, and can potentially be regrown the second it starts to break down. So that's a discussion for a different day. But there you go. Sorry, we're double the time today. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.